Good morning, everyone. Today I'll be starting with your class on shortcut tricks and techniques for square root and cube roots. The square root and cube roots are two things which are very important from the point of view of calculation in the examination, right? And if you start calculating in the examination using the conventional method, then that will take up a lot of time, which is why we have created these faster and easier methods, right, to find square roots of numbers, even large numbers which are 4-digit or 5-digit numbers without any difficulty, right? And that is one of the major goals for the class today. And we'll see here two main things we are going to discuss. First will be to learn the square root techniques of calculating square roots faster, and second is to find out cube roots of numbers. And for both of these things we are going to focus on the square roots and cube roots of perfect squares and perfect cubes. Okay, so to begin, first let's discuss the problem from the previous class practice pack. So what is the question that we have discussed in the class practice pack, and that is, what is 988 into 992 equal to? So if you see here, the answer is C, and this is using base method. So this I had discussed in the multiplication class. 988 into 992. So how do you multiply these two numbers without using a calculator within just maybe 3-4 seconds? So we take the base as 1000, fine. The base is 1000, and we see how much less each of these numbers is from the base. You'll see this is 12 less from 1000, and this is 8 less from 1000. So 12 into 8, that is equal to 96, right? 12 into 8 is equal to 96. You put one 0 here because we have 3 zeros in the base, so there should be 3 digits in the product also. So 12 into 8, that is 96, and then we take any one number here, 988, and this is 8, and subtract that, so that becomes equal to what? 980096. So I think some typo error is there, so just ignore this answer. The right answer is 980096. That is the product of 988 into 992. Clear? So that's how you should solve these kind of questions, where we are multiplying close to the base of 1000. How do we multiply and get the answer? So now we'll start with the first concept, and that is square root. Let's say you have these square roots to calculate, and you have to do this in the examination while solving a question. Maybe in an approximation question you get something like 1224.96, and they're asking you to find out the approximate value. Now there are 5 questions from approximation. So if you get an approximation question, 1224.96 we can approximate to under root of 1225, and then we can find out the square root of this number using a shortcut technique, right? So directly you are getting questions on calculation under the approximation part of the examination, right? There are 5 questions from approximation that are almost fixed in the examination, in the prelims paper as well as the mains paper of the examination. So 5 marks in approximation help you get the cutoff clear. So if you have to calculate these 5 square roots that I put here, how much time do you think you are going to take for calculating and finding out the answer for these 5 square roots? In the examination, one approximation question can have 3 to 4 square roots involved, right? And you have to solve that question within 30 seconds to 40 seconds, so that you can get up to the required cutoff. Now remember that from this year in IBPS prelims we have sectional time limits also. Earlier what some students would do is that they would save some time from the English section and then use that time extra in the math section, but now that is not possible because every section will have its own time limit of 20 minutes. So in 20 minutes itself you have to solve all the questions from the mathematics part of the examination, and total there are 100 questions in the prelims paper and only 60 minutes. And if I go with the reference of this year's SBI PO prelims, the cutoff is almost 56 marks. That means an ideal student should have at least attempted 70 plus question to get to the cutoff of 56, right? And just getting a bare minimum cutoff should never be your goal. That is why we need to learn faster and better techniques of finding square roots, cube roots, which is why we are doing this calculation and approximation classes throughout, right? My first calculation approximation class was for finding out squares of numbers. Then I did an approximation class on calculation based on multiplication, and today I am going to cover for you square roots as well as cube roots, and you will see how simple the technique can be and how easily you can find out the square roots and cube roots of numbers without any difficulty. So let us start by understanding the method. First of all, what we need to know to find out the square root of any number up to even 5 digit numbers is to know the squares from 1 to 9. So let us see, if you see square of 1, 1 square is 1 and 9 square is 81, 2 square is 4 and 8 square is 64. There is a reason why I am pairing them up, you will see that later on in this video itself. 3 square is 9, 7 square is 49, 4 square is 16 and 6 square is 36 and 5 square is 25. Now you see here both 1 square and 9 square, if you look at the squares which I have put in a pair, like 1 square, observe 1 square and 9 square, you see that both 1 square and 9 square are ending in 1, clear? So the last digit of 1 square and the last digit of 9 square is 1, that is a combination. So we can say that if square ends in 1, so if we just look at the last digit of the square, so what is the square ending in? If square ends in 1, you can say the square root will end in what? The square root will end in 1 or 9. So this is why we have put them as a pair. If square ends in 1, the square root will end in 1 or 9, clear? That is one thing. That is what we see here, that both 1 square as well as 9 square, the last digit is 1. So that is the reason why we are writing this thing. Similarly, if you look at 2 square and 8 square, both 2 square and 8 square are ending in the same digit, that is 4. So this gives us our second rule, that if square ends in 4, then square root will end in 2 or 8. Okay, that is the thing. So if square is ending in 4, then square root will end in 2 or 8. If you look at the third pair, 3 and 7, 3 square is ending in 9 and 7 square is ending in 49, both are ending in the same digit 9. So from this we can say that if square ends in 9, square root will end in 3 or 7, clear? Similarly for 4 and 6, if you look at the last digit of 4 and 6, both are ending in 6. So 4 square is ending in 6 and 6 square is also ending in 6. So this gives us our next rule, that if square ends in 6, then the square root will end in 4 or 6. Finally, if you look at 5 square, that is only one number, no other number is ending in 5. Only one number is there which is ending in 5, and that is 5 itself. So we will say that if square ends in 5, square root will end in 5 and that is fixed. So इस रूल को आप देखिए गौर से, क्या करना है यहाँ पे हमें कि जो स्क्वायर दिया हुआ है, आपको स्क्वायर रूट निकालना है किसी नंबर का, तो आप स्क्वायर का लास्ट डिजिट देखिए, स्क्वायर का लास्ट डिजिट से ही हम लोग स्क्वायर रूट के लास्ट डिजिट को कैलकुलेट कर सकते हैं. जैसे अगर स्क्वायर का लास्ट डिजिट 1 है तो स्क्वायर रूट का लास्ट डिजिट या 1 होगा या 9 होगा. That's what this table is telling. If the last digit of the square is 4, then the last digit of the square root will be either 2 or 8. इसको यूज करके स्क्वायर रूट कैलकुलेट करना बहुत ही इजी हो जाएगा आपके लिए. यहाँ पे एक और पॉइंट नोट करेंगे जो कि बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, किसी किसी क्वेश्चन में आपको काफी हेल्प करेगा. वो ये है कि परफेक्ट स्क्वायर्स don't end in 2, 3, 7 or 8. See, when you look at these squares here, from 1 square to 4 square here and then 9 square to 6 square, you look at the squares, you will see that none of these squares are ending in 2, 3, 7 or 8. So from that we can say very clearly an important note for you, and that is perfect squares never end in 2, 3, 7, 8. अगर आपको कोई नंबर मिलता है स्क्वायर रूट निकालने के लिए, आप देखते हो कि नंबर जो है वो 2 पे एंड कर रहा है या 3 पे या 7 पे या 8 पे, तो आप स्ट्रेट में बोल सकते हो कि वो नंबर जो है वो परफेक्ट स्क्वायर नहीं है. राइट, उसका अप्रॉक्सीमेट स्क्वायर निकाल सकते हैं पर वो परफेक्ट स्क्वायर नहीं है. क्लियर? सो दैट इज ऑल्सो वेरी हेल्पफुल रूल फ्रॉम स्क्वायर्स. नाउ यूजिंग दिस टेक्निक, again one review of the technique, just look at the last digit of the square. From that you find out the last digit of the square root. Okay, now using this technique we'll find out the square root of numbers in 2 simple steps, and with this you will never again require a calculator for finding out square roots of perfect squares. So one again I will write here the review for you, like what is the rule. The two things we have to see: square ends in and from that we will find out the square root will end in. That's basically what we have to do. So again I'll say square ends in 1, square root ends in 1 or 9, square ends in 4, square root will end in 2 or 8. Clear? Next is if the square ends in 9, square root ends in 3 or 7, square ends in 6, square root ends in 4 or 6, and if it's 5, then the square will also end in 5. Also you can say that if the square ends in 0, then the square root will also end in 0. So this is a basic thing that you have to keep in mind while finding out the square root of these numbers that you see on the screen. So let's first start with this number 1225. So I'll write this number here. So what number we are working with? 1225. What is the square root of this number? We are calculating this case. What is the square root of 1225? So first of all, finding the square root of numbers is easy using this technique, and finding the square root of numbers ending in 5 is the easiest thing for you, right? तो उसके लिए करना क्या है, स्टेप देखिए. फर्स्ट स्टेप, you cut off the last 2 digits of this square. जो भी स्क्वायर दिया है इसका लास्ट 2 digits आप कट कर लीजिए. Cut off the last 2 digits and look at the last digit of the square, that is 5 here. From this we can say directly that square ends in 5, then square root will also end in 5. That's pretty simple, right? If the square is ending in 5, the square root will also end in 5. That is the rule here, that is this rule I am using. If square ends in 5, square root will end in 5. So again let's see what is the first thing that you should do. You cut off the last 2 digits as I have shown you here, and taking the last digit here 5, if the last digit of the square is 5, then the last digit of the square root will also be 5. That is clear, very simple. Now what to do with the other number here, this number 12? You see, is 12 a perfect square? Now if I ask you this question, is 12 a perfect square? The answer will be no. Now if 12 is not a perfect square, it is between which two squares? Now if you just know the squares from 1 to 9, you can say that 12 is between 3 square 9 and 4 square 16. It's greater than 9 and lesser than 16. 12 is between these two. Clear? So if 12 is between 3 square and 4 square, what we have to do is take the smaller number 3 and write it here, 3. So what is the square root of 1225? The answer is 35. So again one quick review you see here. First step, cut the last two digits and take the last number is 5. So the number square is also ending in 5. Now take the other number here, 12. 12 is between which two squares? 3 square and 4 square. Always take the smaller number, 3. Write it here, 3. And that gives you the answer for the square root of 1225. So next we will see the square root of 4225. 1225 we have done. So this is done now. Let's look for 4225. The rule you already know, 1 ending in 1 means square root ending in 1 or 9, 4, 2 or 8, 9, 3 or 7, 6, 4 or 6 and 5, 5. So again the number given to us, we have to find out the square root of 4, 2, 2, 5. So cut off the last two numbers, last two digits here. What is the last digit? 5. So that means the square will end in 5. The square root will end in 5. Now the other number which we have here, 42. So 42, is 42 a perfect square? No. The 42 is between which two perfect squares? You will say 42 is between the square of 6. Now these squares you should know by heart, so you don't have to put pen to paper for writing this, okay. So 42 is between 6 square 36 and 7 square 49. So what do? We take the smaller number 6 and write it here. So immediately we get to know what is the square root of 4225. The answer is square root of 4225 is 65. Done. So very simple, very easy. So now next what you should do, try finding the square root of 21025 and post the answer in the comment section. Okay, square root of 21025. 21025. Follow exactly the steps that I have used in the previous two square root calculation. Think about the first step. What will be the first step here? The first step, always cut off the last two digits. चाहे नंबर पे 3 डिजिट्स हो, 4 डिजिट्स हो, चाहे 5 या 6 डिजिट्स हो, आपको सिर्फ 2 डिजिट लास्ट के कट करने हैं. आपको ये अलग कर रहे हैं दो नंबर्स लास्ट के 2, 5. ठीक है. So it does not depend upon how many digits are there. Cut off the last 2 digits. Look at the last digit here, 5. The square root will end in 5. Okay, that's very simple, easy. Now this number 210, is 210 a perfect square? Yes or no? क्या 210 एक perfect square है? अगर आपको squares पता हो 20 तक, 15 तक भी पता हो तो आप बता सकते हैं कि 210 is between 14 square and 15 square. This is why a person should at least know squares till 25. All shortcut techniques aside, you should at least learn the squares till 25 and cubes till 10. So 14 square is 196 and 15 square is 225. So yes, Manisha, the right answer is 145. If 14 square is 196 and 15 square is 225, 210 is between them. So आप इसका smaller number लो 14 and put it here, 14. So what will become the answer? 145. Clear? So first 3 square roots we have calculated, all for numbers ending in 5. Now we will see for other numbers like numbers ending in 6. And once you understand how to calculate for numbers ending in 6, you can also do the same for 1, 4 and 9. Okay, numbers ending in 1, 4 or 9. So let's now calculate and find out the square root of 7056. What is the square root of 7056? 7056 का square root calculate करना है. Now what we'll do is again see what are the steps. First step will always be same, to cut off the last 2 digits. ये fixed है, इसमें कोई change नहीं करना है. Always cut off the last 2 digits and then check the last digit. Now you have to recall from the rule that I discussed earlier. If the square ends in 6, then square root will end in what? So we will say the square root will end in 4 or 6. See, very slowly I am solving. Look at the last digit of the square, it is ending in 6. Now if you recall the table discussed earlier, if the square is ending in 6, then square root ends in 4 or 6, right? For example, 1 or 9. So it's this should be completely in your mind. 4, 2 or 8, clear? 9, 3 or 7. So for 6, the rule is that the square is ending in 6, the square root ends in 4 or 6. So that is our first step, either 4 or 6. Now this number 70, is it a perfect square? 70 a perfect square? No. Very quickly we can say it is between 8 square and 9 square. So what do we do? Which number we take? Between 8 and 9 we take this smaller number 8 and write here 8. So either answer is 84 or 86. So what is the right answer? Is the answer 84 or 86? For that also there are 2 methods, both I will show to you. One method is to quickly see this number 70 is closer to this side or this side. If you see, from 64 the difference is 6, from 81 difference is 11, so it is closer to the smaller value. If it's closer to smaller value means the answer will also be the smaller value. There are 2 values that we are figuring out, right? 84 or 86. So one way of quickly determining whether the answer is 84 or 86 is to see whether 70 is closer to the lower square or higher square. That is one method. Another method, for example, in larger numbers it will be not always easy to quickly find out the difference from the lower square and the other higher square. So one quick technique is there, and that technique is that, you see, you take this number 8 and you multiply with 9. That is next number. Please understand, you take the number 8 and you multiply with the next number. What is the next number to 8? 9. 8 plus 1, 9. What is 8 into 9? 72. Now this number 70, is it less than 72? You say yes, 70 is less than 72. So if it is less than this product, then answer will be the smaller value. If it is more than the product, answer will be the higher value. So if I take one more example here to make you understand the second way of finding out whether the answer is 84 or 86, let's say the square root of 1521. Okay. What is the square root of 1521? So again, cut off the last number, last 2 digits. So we have 1 here. Write down 1 or 9. Please see, very slowly I will explain to you from this rule. If square ends in 1, square root ends in 1 or 9. 15 is between which 2 squares? 3 square and 4 square. So we take the smaller number 3. Now you want to decide whether the answer is 31 or 39. You take 3, multiply with 3 plus 1. What do you get? 12. Now is 15 more than 12 or less than 12? 15 is more than 12. Yes. So answer will also be the higher value. Clear? If it is less, the answer will be the smaller value. If it is more, the answer will be the higher value. That is how we find out the answer. Let's take one more example here to completely make you understand. Let's say 2704. What is the square root of 2704? Calculate and tell me the answer. What is the square root of 2704? Use all the steps. What is the first step? What is the second step? Okay, 2704. 4 means 2 or 8. 27 is between which two squares? 5 square and 6 square. So don't need to write everything, just write 5 here. 52, 58. Now you have to decide whether it is 52 or 58. 5, what is next number to 5? 6. Is 27 more than 30 or less than 30? Less than 30. So answer will be the smaller value. So square root will be 52. So 3 examples I have taken for you to understand how can we find out the square root of other numbers, like numbers ending in 1, 4, 6 or 9. For numbers ending in 5 is very easy. Previous 3 examples you can see. For numbers 1, 4, 6, 9 I have explained here. Now perfect squares don't end in 2, 3, 7, 8. So you don't have to worry about 2, 3, 7 and 8. So let's now go to the last number and find out what is the square root of 7396. Calculate quickly and tell me the answer. What is the square root of 7396? Excuse me. What is the square root of 7396? Use all the steps one by one. Cut off the last 2 digits. Check the last digit. What will the square end in? And what will be the square root of 7396? So again you see here, cut off the last digit. 6 means 4 or 6. 73 is between 8 square and 9 square. So it will become 84, 86. 8 multiply with 8 plus 1. 73 is more than 72. You see here, 73 is more than 72. So answer will be the higher value. What is the answer? 86. So with this we have completely discussed the concept of square root. How can we calculate square root of perfect squares without using a calculator? Even for larger values, larger numbers, we can calculate and get the answer. Alright. So now we will see the previous session contest question. This is the question based on syllogism, last session of syllogism. The question below contains 6 statements followed by 5 sets of combination of 3. Choose a set in which the statements are logically related. What is the meaning of logically related? Suppose if I take A, E and D, can A and E give me D as a conclusion? That is the meaning of the statements are logically related or not. So let's check this. A is sum and E is sum. Sum plus sum, please remember, sum plus sum has no conclusion. So this I have already discussed in detail in the syllogism class. Sum plus sum has no conclusion. So answer cannot be A, B, F, D. B is all and F is sum and D is sum. So this could be possible because all plus sum is equal to sum. If there is a conclusion, then all plus sum is equal to sum. All trains are trucks. All trains are trucks. Some trucks are buses. Will there be a conclusion or not? So you see here, what is the common element trucks between B and F? Trucks. Trucks is not distributed here. Trucks is not distributed here. So when the middle term is not distributed, there cannot be any conclusion. So B is also wrong. Check B, C, F. B is all, C is ending in sum and F is ending in sum. So this again all plus sum equal to sum can apply. But let's take here what is the middle term? Trains. Trains is the middle term and the middle term is distributed. In universal affirmative, the subject is distributed. So yes, there will be a conclusion. All trains are trucks. Trains will get cancelled. So what we get here, some trucks are buses. So what is F? Some trucks are buses. Yes. So answer will be C. B, C, F is the correct solution. So without making Venn diagrams, because if you start making Venn diagrams for every option here, it will take too much time. That is why we had discussed this rule of distributivity and also advanced rules of syllogism. particularly for handling the latest type of question, and this is the latest type of question that you can expect in this year's IBPS prelims examination, right. If you get a question from syllogism, it will be very much likely like the one that you see on the screen. Okay, alright. So this is previous session contest question. Now we'll see the contest question. Here we have a question on the screen. What is the difference between square root of 15376 and square root of 12769? Calculate and post the answer in the comment section quickly. See how much time you are taking and use the shortcut technique for doing the calculation. Don't use any calculator. Five-digit numbers are there. Just use the steps we have discussed of finding out the square root. And you'll see that it will be a very simple thing for you to find out the square root of the numbers 15376, 12769. Alright, so now we'll go to the next slide and I will discuss the answer for this question in my next calculation video. You'll look at this now, cube root. If finding square root is a time taking exercise, then finding cube roots is even tougher, right, because for cube root the only method of finding cube root is factorization, and sometimes factorization is very time taking. For example, let's say if you have to find out what is the cube root of 1728, what is the only mathematical method of doing that? We take 1728, we start factorizing like this, 2 into 8, 64, then dividing again by 2, we get 4, 32, and then we go on doing this. What is again dividing by 2? We get 216. Dividing by 2 we get 108, again by 2 we get 54, and then we get 27. Now with 3 we get 3 into 9, 3 into 3 and 3 into 1. So we say 1728 is equal to, now count how many 2's are there from here to here. So we have 6 2's, and how many 3's are there? 3 3's. So cube root of 1728 means cube root of 2 power 6 and 3 power 3. Dividing the powers by 3, we get 2 power 2, 3 power 1, 4 into 3, the answer is 12. So what is the cube root of 1728? Cube root of 1728 is 12, but then how will you find out the cube root of 389017 or the cube root of 4666? 46656. How much time it will take for you to find out the cube root by this factorization method? If I don't teach you the method of finding cube roots directly, and if I leave it for you to calculate this cube root, and if you try factorization, it might take for you 15-20 minutes also, because it will be very difficult to factorize this number 389017. By which number will you divide 389017? Is it divisible by 3 or 7 or 11 or 13? Right? By the time you get to know by which number I should divide 389017 to factorize it, it will be almost 8-10 minutes. Right? So we cannot use these old techniques like factorization. For finding out cube roots of perfect cube, it should not take more than 2 seconds for even 6-digit numbers. And once you learn the technique of finding cube roots, there can be nothing easier than this for you in the examination. So if you get any question based on cube root, you will be having the fastest technique of finding the cube root of the number. So what we will do now is we will see the cube roots of numbers from 1 to 9. Again, just like we had square roots, we have squares of 1 to 9, cubes of 1 to 9. And we will make some important observations here. Something that you can see. Look at this number 1. 1 is ending in what? 1. 4 is ending in 4. You see 5 is ending in 5, 6 is ending in 6. When you find the cube, 9 is ending in 9. So can we say that if the cube is ending in 1, 4, 5, 6 and 9, the cube root will end in 1, 4, 5, 6 and 9 will end in themselves. So if the cube is ending in 1, the cube root will also end in 1. If the cube is ending in 4, the cube root will also end in 4. Similarly, cube is ending in 5, the cube root will end in 5. If the cube is ending in 6, the cube root will end in 6, and if the cube is ending in 9, the cube root will also end in 9. So this is what I mean when I say that 1, 4, 5, 6 and 9 will end in themselves. Clear? Very important. Now the other numbers here, you see 2 is ending in 8 and 8 is ending in 2. So we can say here 2 ends in 8. So this arrow means ends in. If the cube is ending in 2, the cube root ends in 8 and 8 will end in 2. So the last digit of the cube is 2, the last digit of the cube root will be 8 and vice versa. So if the last digit of the cube is 8, the last digit of the cube root will be 2. Similarly for 3 and 9 also, 3 and 7. 3 is ending in 7, 7 is ending in 3. That is a quick summary of the rules for cube roots. While finding cube roots, 1, 4, 5, 6 and 9 will end in themselves, 2 will end in 8, 8 will end in 2, 3 in 7 and 7 in 3, right. Now using this we will find out the cube roots of numbers without any difficulty. So let us see the same two examples which I had started the cube root discussion with. Finding out the cube root of 46656. Cube root of 46656. What we do here is we cut off the last 3 digits. In square roots we are cutting the last 2 digits. In cube roots we will cut the last 3 digits. We will see the last digit here. It's ending in which number? 6. 1, 4, 5, 6 and 9 end in themselves. So 6 will end in 6. Last digit of the cube root will be 6. Now look at 46. Other number left on the left hand side. Is 46 a perfect cube? So we'll say no. 46 is between which two cubes? We'll say it's between 3 cube and 4 cube. So we will take the smaller number 3, keep it here, and that's your answer. What is the cube root of 46656? Answer is 36. So can we do the same thing for 389017? What will be the cube root of 389017? Can you find out the cube root of 389017 and post the answer in the comment section? It's very easy. It should not take more than 2-3 seconds. If you follow the technique that I have discussed, using that technique you can find out the cube root within 2 seconds to 3 seconds maximum. If you have good practice, you can do it within a second itself. What is the cube root of 389017? So again you cut off the last 3 numbers. 7 ends in 3. 3 ends in 7, 7 ends in 3, and 389. 389 is between which two cubes? 389 is between 7 cube and 8 cube. So we should know cubes of numbers till 9 at least. If possible you should learn till 15. Okay, 7 cube is 343, 8 cube is 512. So we will take the smaller number 7. So you see how easy it was to find out the cube root of 389017. The answer is 73. Within no time you can calculate and get the answer, right, using this very simple technique of finding cube roots of numbers. Next we will see, let's find out the cube roots of these numbers. Three numbers are there on the screen: 24389, 110592, 571787. How many seconds we can take? Can we find all of these answers in less than 20 seconds and complete it? In fact, you can do it within less than 10 seconds itself. What is the cube root of 24389, 110592, 571787? Within less than 10 seconds can we target and get the answer in less than 10 seconds, right? 2-3 seconds maximum for each calculation. Within 10 seconds we should have all of the answers. Okay, let's see. 24389, 9 will end in 9. 24 is between 3 cube and 4 cube. Okay, 24 is between 3 and 4. So what will be between 2 and 3? Sorry, 24 is between 2 cube and 3 cube. What number will come here? 29. That's done. Let's do the same thing here. 592, 2 will end in 8, right? And 110 is between 4 cube and 5 cube. So we'll take 4 here. That's finished. Alright. Next let's look at 571787. So 7 will end in 3 and 571 is between 8 cube, that is 512, and 9 cube, that is 729. So that gives us the number 8. So we get all the answers here. First one, cube root of 24389, that is 29, cube root of 110592, that is 48, and cube root of 571787, that is 83. So with this we have completed the discussion on square roots and cube roots, shortcut tricks and techniques for finding square roots and cube roots of perfect squares and perfect cubes. Very helpful in solving questions on approximation and calculation in the banking examination. IBPS PO and prelims and mains, in both you can get questions, you will get questions from calculation and approximation. Okay. So now is the time for your class practice pack. So those who are passport users, once you hear the sound, you start solving the questions from the CPP. And I have selected questions on squares and cubes, square roots and cube roots. Try solving the questions, and the questions which most of you get wrong I will be discussing in my next session. Thank you.